Hey there, strangers. I would say that this is time for my 2 p.m. PST Twitch stream, but you are watching a what I'm calling a Patreon exclusive gameplay for Final Fantasy XIV. Um, Now I'm not going to be. Uh, I'm doing this in that um my friend Crazy wants to play the latest expansion for Final Fantasy XIV. He has his own private account already kind of done, paid account and so forth. He has his subscription, so he's going to be kind of playing that on his side of things. But he wanted to see whether or not I wanted to kind of join him on this venture and the latest expansion for Final Fantasy XIV, the 5.3 update. Apparently, the free trial goes up to about level 60, and um, you're not going to really be. This is fairly early morning for me. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to get myself showered or anything like that, so you won't actually be seeing me, but obviously, you'll be kind of hearing me through the gameplay. You'll be hearing my friend Crazy on the line, and we are also adding in a, um, daughter of a friend, friend, um, Angel into the mix into this particular gameplay run through as well. Now, Angel and or I have not played Final Fantasy before, so this will be um, a full um, uh, individual playthrough for myself, um, and it's going to be a pretty much a first time playing for Angel as well. Miller, Crazy. Um, it will be. Uh, it will not be a first time playing for him, but he has played it before. But obviously, the new update is something that he's gonna want to check out. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and make it live here because I want to kind of show the. Uh, I need to kind of change the gameplay stats on here. So again, you won't be seeing my um, uh, you won't be seeing my webcam. I will not be bringing it up. Um, but I want to go ahead and take care of this. So okay, so everything is good here. Um, yeah, it looks like we're all ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and set my speakers open so you guys can all hear that. And I will now unmute myself so everybody can hear me. So,
All right. So,
Hello.
hello.
yes. So, to start, we need to make sure that we are all on the same data center and all on the same server. So, the data center that we should be on is the Crystal Data Center. And then the server that I picked because it's the easiest one to remember is Diablos.
Okay, so I take it that the data center selection is only showing us hey, you can only confirm the data center on this one and you pick Diablos afterwards?
Well, so you should be well when you get to the end of character creation, it's gonna suggest a world, and then we're gonna pick one.
Okay.
Um, so yeah,
So it's Crystal and then Diablos?
Yes, if you get but it's going to ask you again, or it's going to suggest one when we get to the end of character creation. We're going to make sure that we end up on the right one. Now, like I said, I'd had a different data set. I had a different world on a different data center in mind, but apparently that world is flooded and they're not letting us make new characters. So boo. But oh well. All right. So I already had a character appearance in mind, but you all are going to be starting from scratch.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what all you pick, especially since I can't see your guys' screens.
Yeah.
I've played a couple. I've made a couple of different characters in the past. Generally larger than average male characters. So this time around, I'm planning to go with a well, still very tall, but female character, so slim.
Oh, okay.
So, if you have any questions about races, I should point out race, clan, a lot of the stuff that they're going to ask you about in the character creator is entirely cosmetic. Until we get to the actual classes, it's all just background. It's just appearance and story stuff. So make whatever appearance you guys like.
From its core emerged the elder primal Bahamut, who unleashed his fury upon the realm.
Oh, good, Bahamut. And that's a common summon.
Yes, and a relevant character in terms of the story because it's Final Fantasy. There are two things that are in pretty much every Final Fantasy game: airships and Bahamut.
Well, there's more than just Bahamut when it comes to summons, but yes.
Well, yes, but there's always a Bahamut. Going all the way back to the first game, there's always a Bahamut.
Yeah.
5 years have come
I should do
and
that.
gone.
One second, I need
The
to
light
fix that.
of life
There we go.
still
Okay.
shines upon Eorzea. Man labors tirelessly to raise himself.
So let me know
from
when
the
you guys get to the
calamities
classes because that's when we're gonna have a lot to discuss.
Okay.
The realm is forever changed, a stranger to him once more. Yet heedless of what lies ahead, he shall press on.
Oh boy.
Spurred by the promise of peace and prosperity. Amid
You guys
this
still there?
period of
Oh yeah.
change,
Yeah.
an
Just watching the little intro that they're giving here, so.
tale is yet
I'm looking at the races right now for the characters.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't even gotten to that point yet. I wanted to kind of see the little intro that they give, so
The intro is cool.
yeah.
I don't remember much.
May he ever
Okay.
walk
Well, my OBS crashed, so I am very quickly reestablishing my stream.
Wow.
My apologies, fellow Insomniacs. My OBS crashed for reasons I don't know.
Before your venture can begin, you must first create a character.
Yes.
Obviously.
So if you have
It's an
questions
MMO.
about any, if you have questions about any of the races, I will do my best to answer them. But like I said, the differences are pretty much universally cosmetic.
Yeah.
I'll be very curious. So, like I said, also I'll be very curious to see what everybody chooses to do in terms of their races and their appearance and so forth and so on and so forth. Now, you guys should have access to most of the races. The only two races you don't have access to should be the
Last two.
Rothgar and the Vieira because you have to have the Shadowbringers expansion for those.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's still a good selection.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can make certain parallels between some of the races, but some of the races don't have a parallel to standard fantasy races.
Oh, okay.
Like I mean, there's a race that are clearly supposed to be humans, right?
Right.
Yeah.
There is a race that pretty strongly resembles elves. And there's a race that pretty strongly resembles gnomes, although really there's some big differences there. But some of the other races don't have a strong comparison.
Yeah.
So if you want to discuss what you're making, at least in terms of appearance, that would be... I'm curious. Or do you want to keep it a complete surprise and we'll all meet up whenever we meet up?
I don't know. I don't think I care too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I'm just reading through the text here. Okay, two different types of elves, I guess you might put it.
Yeah, each race has two different tribes or clans or whatever that they belong to. And it gives somewhat different appearance and somewhat different lore.
Yeah. Okay. I think we'll go ahead and go with the more elvish, the Elson.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see. Okay, we have different stats here. Okay, so strength is the same. Dex
Don't worry about it. The statistical differences are irrelevant in the grand scheme of the game.
Okay.
Pick whatever looks best to you. I actually really appreciate that about Final Fantasy XIV as opposed to, at least the last time I played World of Warcraft, there were definitely certain race and class combinations you really wanted to go with because their abilities synergized and made them better at made some races better at certain classes. In Final Fantasy XIV, it doesn't matter. Whatever race you pick, it's pretty much cosmetic.
Yeah.
As far as I know, nobody reacts any differently to you. There is one. The only notable in-game difference I have seen in terms of relating to your character is that the NPCs you talk to, for the most part, try and look your character in their face. So if your character is very, very short, they're looking down. And if your character is the tallest person they've ever met in their entire freaking life, they're looking way up. I say this because I've made a maximum size character on one server, and all of the NPCs were like, nobody actually said, "Gee, you're tall," but they were all looking well up at me
Right.
because I was much bigger than them.
Yeah. Well, I'm also creating a super tall.
Yeah, I forget what the name of the race is, but the the elf-like race are quite tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny because I'm going for a bit of a shorter physique because I like that kind of thing. So I might have to look up at you guys.
Okay. What race are you picking, Angel?
Mikuti or whatever it's called. It was the cat race.
Oh, the cat lady, the cat people. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, because I'm that kind of girl.
That's fair. Cat people. That'll be interesting because this time I decided to make a female character, and because I have all of the expansions, I went with the bunny ladies.
Bunny ladies?
Yes, the Viera. You aren't able to select them because you have to be a subscriber and have Shadowbringers. Makote are also a very popular choice.
Okay.
All right. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the bottom right, you can see there's a thing that says environment, and you can select different, basically different lighting. That's kind of the lighting of some of the various cities that the characters are going to be around. So like
Yeah.
the coast near Limsa Laminsa, which is one of the starting cities, or so you can see your character in different lighting, and yes, that could matter.
Okay. Okay, I can't. I don't need you jumping around when I'm trying to look at your eyes. So let's go back to standing.
Right?
You know, I picked a unique just to kind of see, you know, what all they do, and it's like, okay, I'm trying to look at your eyes. You're dancing around. You're not allowing me to kind of pick the right eye shape.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to standing because
Fair.
not much of a difference in iris. Let's see, eye color. Ooh, that's a nice one. I like that. Eyebrows. Hmm. Kind of like that one. That's a good one. Not a lot of customization to the character creation. You know, I've seen some other games that have a lot when it comes to customization,
The
but
level of customization in Final Fantasy 14 is, I would say, a medium level of customization,
yeah.
because I've seen games that have a lot of customization, and then I've seen games where all of the characters have the same body type, same build,
Mm-hmm.
and basically the same face. You can make some changes, but it's basically the same face. World of Warcraft. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there are definitely some good options here, but there are also some restrictions. And I mean, you can't go hog wild with it.
Yeah.
Like I've seen, like uh, Champions Online and Black Desert Online both have really deep character customization. You can really tweak almost every aspect of your character. And my problem with it is that you can tweak almost every aspect of your character, and it's very easy to get lost. I've actually seen people who spend weeks trying to figure out what they want their character to look like. I'm
Wow.
not kidding.
Yeah.
So I think Final Fantasy XIV strikes, for the most part, a pretty decent middle ground. Like, you can adjust your character's height, you can adjust a lot of details about the character, but you can't go, completely hog wild and make like the Blob.
Don't have any ear clasps, so don't need the color on it. Okay.
Hmm?
Oh, I didn't select any ear clasps for my particular character,
Oh,
and the
right,
next
yeah.
option is the ear clasp color. It's like, well, I don't have any ear clasps, so why would I bother with the color?
That's fair. That's fair.
They probably should have actually, combined those two together, but whatever. Let's see. Can't really see that, so don't really need that. No sideburns. Meh. Don't need that. That works. Face paint. Let's see. Can't really see it with the hairstyle on that. Same. Ah, there we go. Can actually move it to the other side. Well, that would be an interesting look.
Jeez.
Well, I've never gone with this particular face paint before, so I figured I might as well be a little unique on this. So.
Okay, it's fair.
Voice, huh?
Mind you, your character never actually talks. Their voice is only the things that the kind of the noises they make when they are in combat.
Yeah, okay.
I do have to say that that is one thing that kind of bugs me about this game is that they don't talk. But on the other hand, apparently they mentioned that because the pacing of Japanese and English, or I mean, just a lot of other languages, but especially the pacing of Japanese versus kind of the European-based languages is so different that trying to line up the mouth movements and the animations for the NPCs to make it look like they might possibly be speaking the same, might actually be saying what they seem to be saying when you hear voice is a complete pain, and then trying to do that for PCs as well with all of the different races would apparently be a lot of work. Let's just say that. So, and apparently the people who make Final Fantasy 14, I mean not just Square Enix, but specifically the people who make Final Fantasy 14 were like, we really want this to be very tight and make look good, and so it's kind of a big deal to them, as opposed to some of the other games I played, like Monster Hunter World, where the mouth movements don't even remotely line up, and they don't care. It's like a badly dubbed old movie.
Okay, consists of the moon, following around 6 elements. You can be said to be the length of 12 moons. Oh, okay. So they're still using a 12-month calendar. It's just, yeah. And they're using it slightly differently in that. Yeah, okay.
Like I said, it doesn't have your character's birthday does not, as far as I know, have any practical effect, nor does your chosen guardian. I think at one point it did, but it doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
Pick one
Okay.
that works for flavor purposes, or just pick one at random.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I'll admit, I picked the Guardians. I picked all of my Guardians for flavor purposes. So, like, my emo demon boy, his Guardian was... I forget the name of it, but the god of destruction, right? And my maximum size Rogadin, their Guardian was the god of strength and bravery, I think it is. Now for this character, I'm going with the goddess of love because I'm making a female character. Don't get too deep here. But that does mean you guys are getting close to picking classes.
I'm still stuck on the hair because as someone who likes style, I'm a bit, slow on in this department.
Nope, that's fair. That's fair.
It's so pretty characters.
That is one of the, positives of character creation is that you can kind of customize it however you kind of want to. That is a positive of it. Like anyone that has played like Sims 4, for example, the character creation on that is, oh my God,
It's
you
like
know,
the
it's
funnest part of the game.
you can pretty much do whatever you want in that particular game, and you can kind of when it comes to character creation, you literally can like move cheekbones and move the face the structure of the face around, okay, just by mouse movement alone. So when you look at character creation, Sims 4 is like pretty top tier.
Yeah.
So thankfully it doesn't go that much in depth on here for Final Fantasy 14, but yeah, I mean, that's for someone that is interested in how their character looks. Having a lot more choices tends to take a little bit longer for time. Just like you said, they're crazy. The fact that,
Yeah.
someone took hours just to kind of create their character, you know. So,
Weeks. It's a long time.
hmm,
And it can be. But I mean, you want your character to look good. Admittedly, they do give you a free appearance revamp, but they give it to you at the end of the first section of the main story. So, yeah, it's
Uh, basically.
you're gonna be with this appearance for a while.
yeah.
I'm willing to cope with that.
Well, there are some games that offer like hairstyle changes, like they have like barbershops and stuff like that, in
Well,
some
that's true,
in
and they
some
do actually.
MMOs. So,
Now that I think about it, they do also have something like that in Final Fantasy 14, and you will get if as we go through and do stuff, you can get a free certificate for not a full character recustomization, but to do things like change your character's hair, things like that. And you can just change it for in-game money, at least as far as I know. The thing you get at the end of A Realm Reborn is called a Fantasia, and it allows you to completely change your character's appearance, their race, their gender, all of it. My one problem with that is it does not include a character change or a name change, right? So if you go from, say, a maximum size male Rogadin to, say, a tiny female, oh dang it, I lost the name of the race. The ultra tiny, like almost gnome like race, and suddenly your character is feminine, you're stuck with whatever name you picked. So if it's not gender neutral,
Oh dear.
you have to go and pay for a to change your character's name.
yeah,
So
you go with a big beefy guy and you call him, oh, my name is Biff, and suddenly you put him into like you change it to this small, tiny, female character, and it's like, my character is Biff. It's like, nuts.
Oh,
this doesn't quite compute. Yeah.
A little bit of a interesting change, but I mean, okay. So I'm currently on the patron deity, so
Okay. And Angel is still selecting hair.
yeah. Well, she might be past that, maybe.
I'm almost done with the appearance. So,
Okay. Cool.
almost.
So, crazy. I'm kind of you might get a little bit of kick out of this, but I'm basing this character off of one of the um old role-playing games that we did. You know,
Okay.
Polothar. So I'm kind of designing that character off of that character. So
Which character?
Polothar.
Oh, um, right.
Right.
From Regalian, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Oh yeah.
That was the game we played back when we first met, and
Mm-hmm.
Angel wasn't around then.
She was just, you know,
Not when we first started.
I was young.
As I recall, that game predates your birth.
Wow.
yeah. But you know, we didn't finish. You know, she was around when we finished it up. Obviously, seeing that it was a long campaign, but um, but yeah. So let's see. Hmm.
All right. So so you guys are still picking your. Well, let me know
I'm
when you get to classes.
I'm currently in class, and based off
Okay.
of my seeing that I'm kind of building them towards a specific old character, um, I'm kind
Well,
of
we do definitely need to have a discussion about. Okay, so as I've mentioned previously, you can play every class on a single character.
okay.
So you can eventually get every class.
Okay.
Um, the big question becomes, what class do you want to start with? The other thing is, and this is one of the things about Final Fantasy 14 for a new player that does kind of annoy me, is different classes have different starting location.
Okay.
And it is there, and you cannot go to the other locations until a certain point in the story. Now, that
Mm-hmm.
point isn't too far into the story.
Right. But still, it kind of
Still, if at all possible, I would like to try to have us all start in the same location.
right.
Now, I
Okay.
have a preference, but I'm open. I'm open to some changes about where we'll actually start, because I don't know that everybody is going to like the options available.
Okay.
Okay, so roughly, well, okay. Angel, are you at class selection yet, or are you still working?
Um, right now I'm looking at the gods. I didn't find
Right.
class. I think I still gotta keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's after
class is
gods.
after gods. It's the
Okay.
next one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a little while.
Okay.
It takes a little bit to kind of read through the text and figure out, you know, which one to kind of pick. So,
No, that's fair.
It took me a little bit to kind of look through the text myself and find which one that kind of, you know, works for the most part for, the old character. So,
Right.
seeing that game character Polatar was centered kind of around, obviously elf, water, and um, his fighting styles were, archer based as well as a little bit of hand to hand in terms of staff, or at least the first weapon that I picked for him was a staff, but obviously the rest of the
Right.
crew was more, you know, melee based and had really no long range, so hence the reason why I went with the archer. So,
Yeah.
so right now on character creation based off class, I'd be probably looking more along the lines of archer and or lancer, but
Okay. Both of which have the same starting location, which is Gridania.
okay. Is that a location that is something that you're kind of looking towards, or is that
Well,
something?
so by default, I prefer to play tank classes. I am. I realized like 5 MMOs ago that I am a natural born tank.
Right,
I want the enemy's hatred, their aggro, and their suffering. It fuels my. It fuels me and makes me feel good.
right.
So, and the two tank character classes are Gladiator, which starts in Ul'dah, and Marauder, which starts in Limsa Lominsa. I will also tell you from my own personal experience playing this game that Ul'dah is far and away my favorite of the three major cities because um, I find the layout to be the most logical. And once you know where everything is, they have a teleportation system within the cities, right? Where they have the main teleportation hub and then little teleportation crystals that you can teleport to throughout the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Ul'dah, the teleportation crystals are all set up in the places you actually want to go. I find the other cities have a less useful teleportation scheme, all things considered. Now, that's not to say you can't do that. Just Ul'dah is my favorite. I like to start there. I like to start as a gladiator. It's probably my favorite class that I played thus far.
Okay.
But there is room for negotiation here.
Okay.
Um,
Well, um,
Well, I'm ready to negotiate. I've reached classes by now, so.
okay. So based off of what I can see here, the three classes that that starts off in Udal is the Gladiator, the Pugilist, and the Thaumaturge.
Thaumaturge.
So,
Yeah, the Pugilist and the Thaumaturge. So, Pugilist is melee DPS,
right.
um, and is actually, if played well, is one of the best melee DPS. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're all good, but
Hmm.
Pugilist, or it eventually evolves into Monk, and Monk characters post some of the highest melee DPS in the game,
Ow.
right?
Right.
That's
Um,
difficult though.
and then Thaumaturge evolves into Black Mage, who are, if you just want to blow some stuff up, like Black Mage is the class to blow some stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
There.
so this
Okay.
game does run off of the Holy Trinity, as it's referred to. You know, you have tank, DPS, and healer, right? And
Right.
as is usual, there are way more DPS classes than anything else.
Right.
Okay. Also, the standard if you go into a dungeon or you go into a group instance, right?
Hmm.
The standard arrangement is a tank, a healer, and 2 DPS.
Okay.
right? Now, I said my first complaint is that not all the characters start in the same location, right?
Right.
My second complaint relating to that is the two tanks each start in a different location, and the only class that starts as a healer starts in the third location.
Okay.
Right.
I
Which
would
may
like to have a word with the person or persons who made that decision. Actually, I would like to have several words with them. Some of them 4-letter. Anyway,
Okay.
so we can. So we can. Ideally, I would like us all to start in the same location because that way I can show you guys around. It's a lot easier to
Yeah.
say, okay, we need to go here if we're all in the same location, right? There is a
Yes.
certain point where we can all meet up, and there is nothing that says we have to start at the same location. I just think it would be easier. Um,
yeah. Now,
Ulda and so assuming we each want to play different classes, and we don't have to, but assuming we each want to play different classes, Ulda and Gridania both have 3 classes that you can start as in them. Limsa Laminsa only has 2. There is a third class there, but you have to get to level 10 in order to take it. So somebody would have to double up. So the question is, before we get into the specific classes, what type of character do each of you want to play?
go.
Jim, do you want to be do
I
you
I
want to be
I tend to go.
DPS? Do you want to be
I
go
tend
ahead?
to go more DPS because I haven't had I haven't had too much experience in the healing role of things. At least I don't think I've ever done an MMO where I've played a healer and been super successful on it. Or
Okay.
played it to like late game DPS
Yeah.
healing.
Well, DPS.
So
Yeah,
so
DPS is a common choice, which is part of the reason why there are more DPS classes than everybody else.
yeah. I've played around with tank a couple times in MMOs. Uh, I I haven't been that great when it comes to it. I mean, I know enough to like, hey, make sure that I um guard against everybody to, say, hey,
Yeah.
look at me, everybody. But sometimes, like especially early game tanks, sometimes you don't have all the abilities that
Oh
can
yeah.
guarantee that you basically say, hey, look at me all the time. It doesn't always work out that way in some games, which makes it that much harder in certain cases because now you're like,
Yeah.
hey, no, look at me. No, you look at your, hey, you over there to your right. You need to look at
Yeah.
now.
No,
My,
I know what you're talking about. I
you
will
know,
say I do think that um, of all of the games that I played where you start as a where you can start as a tank character, um, Gladiator, which eventually evolves into Paladin, is probably the easiest I've ever played. Which is weird because I also think it's the most fun. That's not to say it's like the absolute easy mode. It just they designed it very well.
yeah.
Um, but if you want to
Yeah.
play DPS, we do have a bevy of options.
Oh
So
yeah.
Jim wants to go DPS of some sort. What about you, Angel?
Not sure. Let's see.
I mean,
I was.
also,
Yeah.
so I don't know if you noticed, but down at the bottom there is the thing with attire where it shows. So the race gear is the stuff you'll start with by default. But if you click on
Yeah.
job, it will show you what
What?
the level 50 the level 50 end of the story, end of class story gear looks like. So that can also give you an idea of what your character will look like and give you some idea of what their their effects look like.
I see that. That's really cool. I was thinking of going for the archer, but I don't know if that's gonna be the best option. I don't know.
Okay.
Which
So,
city are we trying to start in again? I think in the bottom left corner is the city that the character started, right?
yes.
Yeah. So which one are you trying to start in again?
Well, my favorite is Ul'dah, but we can, like I said, there's room to negotiate that. So
Yeah, if we go with Uldal, then I'd probably be leaning more towards the Black Mage, the Thaumaturge.
Thaumaturge, okay.
Um, because if I'm kind of creating my character around a persona, already made persona, then Gladiator and Pugilist do not fit with that persona. So, not to say that, I won't eventually pick that up and play around with it, maybe, during
Yeah.
during all this gameplay and all that. But, I want to try to hold to um, the certain kind of persona of this character. So, um, you know, which it tends to line around Gridania, but I mean, I'm kind of also like the Lancer and Archer, but I don't mind it doing
Well, like I said,
the
we
mage as
can
well.
we
So
can and will eventually get to the point where we can do all of the classes,
yeah,
and there's gonna be plenty of that.
Yeah.
I so
yeah,
I mean, if we want to start in Gridania, we can.
I'm thinking of going for the thaumaturge. I've never tried it before. So, and I like magic, so I mean,
Okay. I mean, we can totally do a gladiator and two thaumaturges. That would be. There's absolutely no reason
I don't
why
know.
we couldn't do that.
Just into the pugilist.
Pugilist.
Pugilist, yeah.
Make with the
I don't
punchy
know.
punchy.
Yes.
yeah.
Thinking about it.
I don't know if most likely Pugilists wouldn't have any kind of weapons. They're more hand to hand.
Yeah.
Well, I
That's
mean, technically they
that's
have weapons, but they're all
It's
like
just like
claws
yeah.
or like
yeah.
brass knuckles, things like that.
I mean, pugilist is basically, the boxer type. That's pretty
Yeah.
much the definition of the
Yeah.
word. Um, and that obviously leads into monk and the like.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
I will tell you for my own 2 cents, and this is just me. I mean, I really enjoyed playing pugilist up into monk. Um, but I mean, there aren't well, okay, there are a couple of classes I didn't enjoy that much. But
Yeah.
they're not starter class. Well, one of them is not a starter class, and the other one no one's expressed any interest in anyway. So we'll move on. But yeah, if you guys both want to play thaumaturges to start, that's totally fine.
yeah,
That would
just
give us a tank and 2 DPS, which is really not a bad place to be in, all things considered.
yeah. Um, you just need to remember that any kind of mage class, no matter what, tends to be very squishy. So obviously, we don't want to get into, obviously, the tank themselves are supposed to kind of guard against that, but
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that's what you have me for.
exactly. But it's just a word of warning to anyone that is, like maybe playing a mage class by themselves, for example, later on.
Well, I mean, they
You
do
know,
also make it. Obviously, you are supposed to be able to play this game and, actually survive playing whatever class you're playing.
Yeah.
So, you don't start super squishy, and by the time you get to the kind of content that can one shot you know, like a caster class, you know, they require you to have a tank.
yeah.
So, all right. So, gladiator and 2 thaumaturges, it sounds like.
I
Does that
mean,
work for you guys?
Got it. Hold on. Yeah, we'll go thaumaturge. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Okay. Well, if that works for you guys, then I'm going to go ahead and... Okay. So...
now it's going to world and it's automatically selecting me for Diablos.
That's funny. Mine said something else, but I'm going to go ahead and go for
Select another.
Diabolos. Yeah.
Yeah, mine went instantaneously to Diablos. So, so I shall go ahead and proceed.
All right. Angel, you got...
Yeah, I'm going to Diablos, so.
Okay, cool. Wanted to make sure... Begin a new game with this character.
Let's see. Looks good. New characters cannot be made on this world at this time.
Diabolos?
That's what it just gave me.
See if you can refresh that, because it... I literally just made a character.
I cannot. New characters cannot be made on this world at this time.
That's super annoying.
Now, it's not giving me a... It's not saying anything along the lines of, hey, this is a problem with your character name or anything along those lines.
No, it's sometimes if there are too many characters, or especially if a server is seeing a lot of if a server is seeing just a lot of people playing on it to the point where they're getting wait queues, they will temporarily shut down character creation on there. But I literally just made the character. It's giving me the option to start with the character, and now you're telling me that it won't let you guys start there.
Well, it won't let me in. What about you, Angel?
Hold on. I'm still trying to figure out the name because I'm picky like that. But
Oh, okay. Gotcha. No worries.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Because I mean, if this really... If it doesn't let you guys create a new character on Diabolos, then we'll just pick a different server. I'll delete this one and recreate her on another server, because we can do that. I just picked Diabolos because it was an easy name to remember.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not letting me. Let's see. Which is really weird because Diablos isn't giving me like a little, like I highlight Brynhildr and it's saying, this world is not accepting any more new characters. I'm like, okay. It's
Well,
not it's not
there should
giving
be a little there should be a little thing that looks like a wheel sort of thing. If you click it, it'll update. It should update telling whether or not a particular world is accepting new characters.
Diablos is now under that restriction.
I just tried to create the new character. It's not letting me do it.
Okay. Well, so according to their website as to what's available and what's not, if Diablos is not available right now, we can go to Brynhildr. Cool. You know what? We're not doing that one. I can't pronounce it. If I can't pronounce it, we're not going there. Or Marlboro.
I'm kind of leaning more towards Marlboro, but
Okay. I mean, one server or another, as long as we're all on the same one, and it's a preferred server, I don't have a strong opinion.
what about you, Angel? Do you care?
Not really. Which one is it again?
It starts with Mal, M-A-L.
So
Okay.
you're in your on the screen where it basically says, hey, pick a name or something like that. You're probably on there. There should be a little button that you can click saying return.
Yeah.
And you can select the
The world over
server
there. I see it.
Yeah.
and
So
pick
FF14.
Marlboro, and we'll see
Yeah.
all
if
right,
that will go
Okay.
through.
I'll confirm that then. Marlboro.
giving me the option to start. It says begin a new game with this character. You
Yep,
guys getting that same?
this world
Begin a
is
new game with this character. Okay, and cancel. I'm gonna press OK.
We're gonna press OK, and we're actually gonna get into the game finally.
Yay!
this
Finally.
this
Took a little
Alright.
longer because of my computer problem.
hmm, this
Yeah.
this world is currently full. Players in queue 13.
Okay. Yeah. But we created the characters,
17.
so
Yay!
we just have to wait for it to let us in. And honestly, it updates pretty quickly. I've been in a queue that was like 150, and I was in under 30 seconds. So it shouldn't
Wow.
take that
Okay.
long.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not that big of a deal. Actually,
Cool.
while we're doing that, I'm gonna go over here.
So we'll just wait a minute. Oh yay!
Now loading for me.
Yeah, same here.
Yep, I got now loading. I'm loading in now.
It'll probably start off with some amount of little story bit or whatnot, standard
Indeed, it
fare.
Yeah.
will.
That's what I'm getting.
Gotta love the Final Fantasy music.
They
It's
do
really
have
pretty.
some really awesome music in this game.
It's so pretty.
I do have to say, just in general, in my experience, music in video games has been pretty awesome for like the last decade. Not that there
Yeah.
wasn't some good music before that, but just in general, the overall level of quality has been pretty high.
This is why we like video games. They're really fun. I'm part of it, at least.
Well, the soundtrack tracks for Final Fantasy has always been really good.
Yeah.
So, um, the composer, um, what is his name? It's like Ubala or something along those lines. I'm messing up the name, but
Yeah.
um, he's basically been a part of the Final Fantasy. Um, he's been part of the development team for Final Fantasy for years, and basically every single little bit of Final Fantasy music that you've heard has basically been composed by him. So,
Nice. Yeah, there are definitely some iconic, like the music that plays in the character select screen slash at the very beginning of the game. You know that
yeah.
that whole bit. I mean, that's been around since the first game, and
Mm,
it's one of those things that's iconic.
yeah. Inspection.
Yeah, what's this all about? Actually, since it's, what's this all about? Inspection. Men, search the carriage.
Ah,
Ooh, wow. Cutting out
Just
tongues.
an honest peddler,
wow.
friend. So, don't be too disappointed if you find nothing, eh?
Look.
Mind your tongue, old man, lest I cut it out.
Wow, planting evidence already, huh? Okay, I see.
Oh yeah,
Oh no.
Per
honest peddler, was it? Since when do honest peddlers deal in prohibited herbs? You're in a lot of trouble, old man. You'll rot in the dungeon till the end of your days, unless you can afford the fine.
Wow.
Heh, business as usual. Ah!
Drums, drums.
Amalja! Amalja! To arms! To arms!
Whoa.
Consider this a warning. Now go, all of
Consider
you.
this a warning. Now go, all of you!
Oh,
We got monsters.
Yeah? We'll eventually fight some of those.
Yay.
That kind of excitement ain't good for the heart.
don't you just love when the beginning intro is pretty much the same for everybody?
Yeah.
You're reading the lines and I'm like going, yep, this same exact thing. So
Yep. You be careful around them brass blades, lass. Bastards will have the shirt off your back if they fancy it. Like common bandits they are, only less honest. Thank the gods for sending some beastmen to the rescue, eh? Hey, seeing as we still got a long ride ahead, you mind keeping me company till we arrive? Them youngins don't care much for conversation, see?
They're pretty.
Yeah, pay attention to those two. They'll be back.
Yeah.
Brent's the name, and peddlin's my trade. And judging by your unusual garments, I'd wager you're one of them new adventurers. Character nods. I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business. These days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it?
mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'll go with that one.
I went with To Win Glory.
Same.
It's funny, the character's mouth moves, but nothing comes out of it. No audio. Then
Yeah.
again, it's not like Brent over here is giving us voice acting either, so that's
Yeah.
why I'm filling in.
It's one of the common problems with games like this. Your character is the silent protagonist kind of a thing, and you don't want to give them a particular voice because it might not match whoever's kind of playing the game. So they
Yeah.
always kind of do that. So
I mean, there are some scenes later where all of the other characters have voice acting, but yeah, we don't.
yeah, I mean it works in if you're playing like an already established character that has like voice lines, like say if you're playing, for example, the game Grand Theft Auto 5, the story mode there, those are already established characters. They have, specific voice lines and so on and so forth. So no worries on that. But if you're like creating your own kind of character, obviously,
Well,
you know,
well, I mean, Star Wars: The Old Republic did voice acting for their PCs and or their player characters, and I thought that turned out pretty well.
that's
But
true.
anyway, Glory, eh? Well, if you're willing to take on them tasks as other folks ain't. An adventurer such as yourself can win fame. What coin can be? Yeah, can win fame. What coin can't buy. It's an archaic turn of phrase. When you arrive in town, you'll be wanting to report to the Adventurers Guild. You can be finding everything you'll need to know about adventure and business in there. Just remember, though, there's more important things and fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact.
Oh, but you're gonna die multiple times. But you know that's one of the nice things about Phoenix Downs. Just kidding.
Yeah. By the by, is this your first trip to Ul'dah? I'm gonna go with yes, even though it's not actually for me, but for my character, I'm gonna say it is. It is? Well then, let this journeyed itinerant tell you about the ins and outs of your destination. Uldah's ruled by the Sultana in name, but as most folks know, the Syndicate holds all the real power. Them and their monetarist cronies would happily get rid of her grace altogether, but that won't happen while she still commands the loyalty of the royalists, and the royalists ain't nothing if not loyal. Those factions have fought long over power, throwing the weight of their wealth around against each other, and they show no signs of stopping. Of course, the lizard men, that's the Amalja, couldn't care less about Odalan politics. They have their own interests, see, and they ain't afraid to use force to serve them. They say war is a gift to the peddlers. Need breeding profit, and though it shames me to say, I'm inclined to agree. At long last, behold Ul'dah, jewel of Phanalin, where folks turn sand into gold.
Well, you can't have too much war, or you won't have enough people to purchase.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weirdly, as we'll find out, Ul'dah kind of has the opposite problem.
Voting,
Deep in
voting.
the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises. A solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance. Her name, Ul'dah. Even with the coming of the seventh umbral era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Nold Thal maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm.
And here's where we part ways, lass. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares, and then it's the high road to me. Or for me. Here, I want you to have this. Think of it as a thanks for putting up with me prattle. You never did tell me your name, though. But hey, here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personages I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square.
May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
Final Fantasy. Woo.
Yeah.
10/5. I mean, I'm just kidding.
Oh, get used to this music too. We're gonna hear this musical piece a lot.
Oh yeah, it's common.
That building is so cool.
Looking around, checking out every place.
Oi, venturer, over here. Aye, I mean you. Fresh off the carriage, by any chance, eh? How can I tell? Name's Wyman, and my business is knowing every bugger else's. Now then, what if I was to offer you some invaluable advice by way of welcome to our fair city, free of charge even, just this once like? Welcome to Ul'dah, the shining beacon of prosperity rising from the deserts of Thanalin. Please select a control scheme you wish to use. I'm using a mouse and keyboard. Follow the instructions to move your character, yada yada yada. You ready to proceed? Speak to Wyman. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna need to change that.
Don't need a play guide.
No, definitely not. I'm gonna close this. I actually have a number of things I need to change in terms of system configuration, character configuration, HUD layout. I mean, just all of this stuff. Okay, put this down here. Put this down here. And activate it.
Okay, so seeing that we still seem to be in our own little instance, seeing that I don't actually see you two yet, so.
Yeah, probably not yet.
Character.
Here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna turn this hotbar on.
Okay, so what are you doing there, Crazy?
Well, so I'm adjusting my HUD a little bit, because I find that eventually I find that I end up needing 3 hotbars, so I put all 3 of them one over the next, and then made sure that they're all turned on. So I started with adjusting my HUD, which is that's saved. And I mean, I'll probably make more adjustments later, but that's the basics for now. Let's see, character configuration. I'm guessing that's your I turn into a pumpkin signal.
Yeah, it's looking, well, you know, if I want to make sure that I prep for my,
Yeah.
my stream myself, I'm probably gonna want to, work on that a little bit, or, you know, get started on what I need to do, so I might need to kind of take off from here. So,
Okay.
So not really much of an intro on my recording, but I mean it kind of shows at least the basics on my end. But obviously, if you guys want to continue, let me know where you guys end off through Discord, and I will, you know, I will catch up in my own time if necessary. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and head out of the voice chat on this, and um, you guys obviously are welcome to kind of continue
Yeah.
here. You know, no problems on that, and um, I'll catch up with you guys at a later time. I'll probably play this game like after my stream and catch up to where you guys are at. So just let me know where you stop. So okay,
Okay.
all right. Take care, you two. I'll catch you next time.
Catch you later, Jim.
Bye.
Okay, and um, yeah, like I was saying um, to them, we're going to go ahead and stop at this particular moment in time for now. Obviously, didn't really show much, but um, obviously there was a little bit of things that needed to kind of be taken care of on that. But um, but we're going to go ahead and close this down for now. You'll see the next installment, um, you know, pretty soon, if not, really soon. Um, or, I could be having like multiple installments already done for you guys. So it all depends on when you guys see this. But like I mentioned before, this is a Patreon exclusive because um, seeing that I can't personally do I can't afford uh, the main account on this. This is going to be a free account. I'm going to go ahead and do just a standard playthrough on this, and I'll be uploading this directly to my Patreon only. So for those of you that are kind of following this there, I thank you for your patronage. I appreciate it. Um, so, um, but we're going to close it down here. So thank you very much. Take care. Have a good night. Um, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll catch you strangers next time.